All right. So for the sake of those that are just joining us for the first time, I'm just going to do a really brief introduction to all these things, and then we're going to get started, right? Um, so um, the broker I actually use, right, is the broker. Now, there are a lot of things I did not talk about on this TikTok live section because TikTok will not allow me to talk about anything concerning money, so many things that TikTok will not allow me to talk about, right? I'm only allowed to talk about the chart, the market, and everything, right? So the broker I actually use is the derivative broker, right? The derivative broker. And then we are currently working on how to make consistent profits or even flip account even with the derivative broker here. All right, so that's something we're currently working on. Like I said before, I have a video on my YouTube right here where um we're able to turn even 10. I was able to turn $10 actually, $10 into $10,000. And how am I able to do that? Again, before you start saying, how is that possible? How was I able to do that? Again, there is a proven way on how I was able to do that. I first was able to turn a $10 into $100, and then $100 into $1,000, and then $1,000 into $10,000, right? Which is something that is very, very amazing. All right, and that's one thing you will be able to learn from this whole section, right? Again, this whole section here is totally for free. Me coming live here, teaching you market structure, order block, and all these things is totally for free. What is not free? Again, please stop that, please. What is not free is is please stop writing on the screen, please. What is not free is how to then apply what we learn here, right? I use this broker, of course, right? I'm going to be sharing with you guys a strategy that I use to actually trade on this platform itself. All right, how to trade on this platform using this touch stroke no touch strategy. Please, Nicholas, please, I'm going to remove anyone that keeps doing this. Please stop that. All right, so then I'm going to then teach how to apply the knowledge we get here. All right, so if you want to learn how to apply that knowledge on the say again, me coming live here, I'll probably once I start the teaching in the VIP group, I'm going to be coming live here 3 to 4 times or 3 times in a week, and it's going to be totally free. We're going to go through the journey of market structure and everything. So I'm going to be doing all that for free. But then if you want to learn how to apply the knowledge from here to the derivative broker, and then we're going to be even doing compounding interest. We're going to start that journey very soon, where we're going to be turning $100, targeting 40%, and then we're going to be turning $100 into, 40%. We're going to be doing that for 2 weeks. That is 14 days, and then we're going to be turning that into $11,000. Of course, we probably will not get to $11,000. We might maybe be stopping at maybe 5,000, 6,000. We're joining along the line, but then one thing that is certain is we will be able to turn it to something really amazing. And then the only people that will be able to participate in that are those in the VIP group. And then again, I originally wanted 10 people in the VIP group, but now I just want 15. I just want 15 people in there. All right, I want just 15 people in the group. So we're already at like 6 or 7 people in there. Now to join the group, it costs just $30 to join. If you want to join us, it costs $30 to join the group. So if you're interested, it's just $30 to join. That's around 48,000 around to join. All right, so that's one thing we're going to be doing. We're going to start of course, we're going to start the first section on Zoom with the people in the VIP group tomorrow, right? So our first section on the Zoom meeting in the VIP group is going to start tomorrow. So if you really want to be a part of the Zoom meeting of that, please and please don't miss out on that, right? So if you have $30, just 48,000, right, you can join us in the VIP group. And of course, this one is totally free. Like I said, like I promised, I'm not going to go back on that. And then we are going to finish the whole thing on understanding how to trade and market structure and all that. So let's get started here. So today we took a trade on hey, like I was saying, I quickly even want to finish on this compounding interest. So for the compounding interest, you can either come in with $100 or $50. So you have to deposit $100 or $50. And the reason I do not want a lot of people is because I'm going to be guiding us through that whole thing, and I don't want a lot of people in there. So it's either you come with $100 or $50, and then we'll be able to turn the $50 into this. So we're probably going to stop somewhere around the 11, no, not stop. Actually, we're going to start withdrawing maybe around the 9, the 10, taking out some part of our profit and all that. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right. So, and then while we are doing that, we are also learning. Now, this is for those in the VIP group. We are also learning how to do that ourselves using this simple concept of market structure. Guys, one thing I love about market structure is you can use the knowledge you have in market structure alone to trade profitably. Just the knowledge you have in market structure. And that's what we use in placing trade. Today, let me just tell you, for those that are just joining, a quick backstory about how we were able to enter this trade today, right? And I'm going to do a brief little analysis on this, right? What I saw, right? So a lot of people were arguing about gold today in the group. A lot of people were arguing about gold, and I had free time. I'm like, okay, let's do free analysis. Let me just clear everyone's doubt. Let's do analysis on gold today. And then we did. And then we were able to arrive. Of course, it is not as clear. Normally, it's not something I don't really trade currency pair that much. So we did analysis on gold, and we were able to see this trade. And when we entered at this level, it was a sniper entry, and then we started going in profit. A lot of people were sharing their screenshot and everything. They were happy, and then started going back down like this. It went back to our entry, then went back up again. Now, this was where we put our, as you can see, this is my order block here. So it was here that my first take profit was at, right? But because I adjusted my stop loss, because we are able to see that this is an order block here, and then of course, stop loss has to be below the order block. If I put my order block right there and my take profit is just right here, it is not a good risk to reward. So, and I kind of still think that the market is still going to go up. And that's why I adjusted the take profit to this level. If we had leave our take profit here, we would have been able to, take our profit around here. As you can see, the market tap into the other block, we would have been able to take our profit here. But because we adjusted our take profit to have a better risk to reward, we for us that don't know other block, again, I'm going to talk about other block. This is a journey, right? I'm not just going to jump into other block, just chill. So we're able to tap into the other block here, and then it went back down. It took us back into loss. Now, I did not panic, right? While I was watching all this, I actually took the trade myself, right? I did not panic because I know, of course, our stop loss is very valid. If this please, this person, stop that. You guys should stop writing on the screen, please. So because we know that our stop loss is a valid one, right? This is a protected level. We were able to hold this, and then look at what happened. The market was really, really ranging around here, doing a lot of crazy shit, and then we were able to later get back. It was able to get to our take profit, which is a very, very good one here. So this is what we're going to be doing. As we progress into the whole thing, we're going to be doing analysis once I'm free. Maybe that is going to be like twice a week. We're going to be doing analysis together and taking trades together on not just currency pair. We're going to be taking trades on volatility index, also on currency pair, because I trade volatility index more. So we're going to be taking trades on volatility index and also on currency pairs. We're going to select few currency pairs that we're going to be watching and taking trades on. I don't like trading in a lot of currency pairs. I'm just going to take gold, Euro USD, GBP USD, and all that. Some currency pair like that, and then we're going to work with that. Right, so that's what we're going to be doing. So let's get back to what we have for us for today. We're still talking about what broker did you trade the gold on? Just again, I'm going to talk more about that. You can trade gold on derivative too, right? Derivative can trade currency pair. All right, so I use the derivative broker. So let's get back to this. Let's get back to advanced market structure. But I'm still going to be answering your question. So today we're talking about advanced market structure. Me just assume that we understand break of structure and change of character. Please, Nicholas, please stop that. I will remove the next person that will do something like this. It's really it's really stopping me. So let's just stop that. All right. All right, let's continue here. Advanced market structure. Now, there's a key important things I need to talk about here. Key important things. Now, talking about break of structure. Now we're getting to advanced market structure. Now, look at this. Let me show you guys something. Now, I'm going to talk a bit more about break of structure. because not all breakout structure are valid. All right. Someone said, I hope we that's using SNES doesn't have an issue. You don't have an issue. Guys, you can use whatever broker you choose to use, you want to use. You can use that to trade on this strategy and all that. But then if you want to join my VIP group, right? If you want to join my VIP group, you have to use Deriv. And again, let me just check quick. In my VIP group, we have 9 members in my VIP group here already. So we need just 4 more people, 6 more people. So the first 6 more persons that join the VIP group are what I'm going to work with. All right. So you do not want to miss out on that. Trust me. All right. That's where we're going to be doing the whole thing. I'm going to show you so many things that I will not be showing in the free group. All right. So let's continue here. Now, not all breakout structure are valid, guys. Now, for us to see a valid breakout structure. Now, before I talk about breakout structure, Samson, please stop that. Before I talk about, please let us stop these things. Please, I will remove anyone that keeps doing that. I'm going to remove you guys. I'm going to remove anyone that does that again. I just was checking how I can remove someone, and I can actually do that. All right. His participation on the VIP group, we'll start trading with how much? You can, 100 or $50. That's what you can start with. Now, let's talk about valid and invalid breakout structure, because that's a very real thing. That's a very real thing. Not all breakout structure are valid. Now, let me spot an invalid breakout structure for us here and see. Let me see. It's very difficult to spot, but then let me see. Okay. Aha, I've seen one. Aha, guys, come and look at this. Guys, please pay attention here. Please pay attention. Now, look at this market here. All right, look at this. If I'm to draw a path for this, I'm going to do this higher high like this, higher low. Some people will say this is a break of structure, higher high like this, then this change of character, and then this. No, you see, guys, if you do not know how to draw this your path properly, you don't know how to recognize valid and invalid break of structure, you are going to miss out. This thing is going to confuse you a lot, right? It's going to confuse that. It took me time to be able to get this, because it will make you take fake trades and all that. Forex trading is not for the weak. It has so many ways to trick you. So many ways to trick you. Now, what I consider a valid break of structure is, now look at this here, right? This is the highest point here, right? Guys, this here is not, hold on, sorry. This is one I want to use. This here is not the break of structure, right? This is not a break of structure. No, it is not a break of structure. Before I can consider this a break of structure, it has to be a candle close. What do I mean by candle close? This thing, this move, this tail here is a wick. It's called wick. We have a video, guys. For those that are just joining, we have a video where we talk about candlesticks and time frame. So go and watch that on my YouTube. Go to my YouTube right now. You're going to see a video titled Candlestick and Time Frame. Right? You're going to understand candlestick properly and time frame and all that. So if you don't understand candlestick and time frame, go and watch that video. Now, this is a candlestick break. This is a wick break, right? This tail here is called wick. If the wick break through this thing here, our structure here, that is not a valid break of structure. We want what? A candle break. This is the break of structure here. This is the break of structure. So here I'm going to consider this like this. Higher high, higher low. Then where's our break of structure? This point here is our break of structure. Is our break of structure. So that is a valid, you need to be able to recognize valid and invalid break of structure, because sometimes a break of structure is not valid and you think it's valid, and then you go into the market and then it takes you out. All right, you need to be able to recognize valid and invalid break of structure. So that's just how I've been able to explain what a valid and invalid break of structure is. Now, another thing that is important that we're going to be talking about, again, we're trying to round up on market structure. And then again, market structure is not something we're going to finish in a day. So once we just round up the key important levels, as we move into the whole thing, we're going to then understand how the whole thing works. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about here, all right, is pullback. Now, for the pullback, not all pullback are valid. Now, this is why so many people get it wrong. You are in an uptrend, you see something like this, higher high, higher low. You think this is a pullback. You think this is a pullback. This is not a pullback. This is not a value pullback. Then you now see, even some pullback like this might even break a structure like this, might break this one. Now, let me, this is a very important part. Hold on. Let me explain this properly, guys. We are getting into advanced market structure, and this is a very important thing. Guys, we have something like this, higher high. We have this higher low. We have this is not even a higher low, right? This is just a low. Then we have something like this, this, and then you now have something like this. Now, a lot of people will be confused with this. They'll be like, what is going on? People will be like, okay, this is a change of character here. A change of character has happened here. But then it is not actually, again, we can actually even call this a change of character, guys. We can call this a change of character, but then, guys, you need to understand that this is the pullback. This one here is the pullback. This is the pullback. Guys, today, if you remember, I was talking about something today. I was talking about how do you know where a pullback has started. I was talking about something today. How can you know when a pullback, this pullback here, how can you know when it has started? Because knowing when to enter your trade here is not just enough. You still need to know when this pullback here has started. This move to here, when it has started, it's going to start somewhere. Some people might think it's starting here, but then it did not start. Look at this. Some people might think it's starting here, started going up, but then look at this, take them out, right? Because of course we can still sell in this move here. We can sell in this move. Now, I was talking about how to know where a valid pullback starts. And I was saying something like, we have something like this, higher high, higher low, higher high. Then after a break of structure, we should anticipate a pullback, right? I'm saying anticipate. Listen, I said anticipate a pullback. I'm not saying after a break of structure, pullback happens. I'm saying anticipate. And now, how do you anticipate a pullback? By going into a lower time frame to watch. This is going to be an uptrend. It's going to look like this on a lower time frame, lower low, like this, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now, a lot of people will mistake this, all this small pullback here on the smaller time frame. Guys, all this thing might look like this. Can even show you something like this on the higher time frame. Let's say I'm watching on the 4 hours time frame. You can even still see it like this on the 4 hour time frame, and you're going to mistake this for a pullback. It is not a pullback, for crying out loud. It is just the market. Again, I said say something. The market is not just going to keep going up for eternity. It's going to go up, retest, even on the smaller scale. It's going to do that on the smaller scale, and it's going to do that on a larger scale. So if it's doing that on a smaller scale, do not think that is the pullback for the larger scale. Again, we are still going to be looking at all this on the wheel chart. If you are seeing a pullback, on the smaller scale, it is not a pullback. It is not the pullback for this move. It is not the pullback for this move. It is not the pullback for this move. And I'm still going to be telling you how to recognize the pullback. Now, how do you recognize pullback for this move? You want to see a change of character. It necessarily do not have to be on a smaller time frame. Guys, note, it necessarily do not have to be on a smaller time frame. Because I'm fond of saying I'm on the 4 hours time frame, and then I'm going to move down to the 15-minute time frame and look for a change of character. Change of character does not necessarily have to be on the smaller time frame. Just that it is more clearer when you go to the lower time frame. It necessarily do not have to be. And then there are sometimes that you are not going to see a change of character. You're not going to see. There are sometimes that this move here, this one move here, it will not really show these pullbacks like this on the lower. You are only going to see all these pullbacks on the lower time frame. And sometimes it's going to be visible on that same time frame you have. Let's say I'm on the 4 hours time frame. You might say 4 hour time frame give us this straight move like this. But then if you go down to the 15-minute time frame, right, you might see it's giving us something like this. And sometimes it might not really give you this something like this on the 4 hour time frame. But if you go down to the 15-minute time frame, you are seeing pullbacks like this and all that. All right. So that's just it. So even on the, let's say I'm on the 4 hours time frame and I see something like, I'm seeing something like this. This is not a valid pullback until I see what? A change of character. I see a change of character like this, right? A change of character gives me this. Then it gets to what? This is now going to be my valid pullback before I now see something like this. So a lot of people do not really know. They think, okay, this is higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and they think, this market has now changed. You need to understand what valid and invalid pullback is. You need to understand. All right. Now that is where order block comes into play. Because with order block, we will be able to anticipate, not just know, we'll be able to tell that, okay, this market is going to get to this level. All right, when we get to order block, order block also is a deep topic on its own, where we're going to be looking at valid and invalid order block and all that. But then order block really helps a lot. It really helps a lot, because we need to be able to recognize what valid and invalid pullback is. Now talking about valid and invalid pullback, let's go down to the chart. Right, let's go down to the chart. Let's locate what valid and invalid pullback is. Let me show you an example. Let me see. I love to show examples. Now, one thing before I go show examples, right? The chart is not a respecter of any man, right? It is not. See, me and you can do analysis on the same market, get the same result, but our analysis is kind of slightly different. If two professional traders do analysis on the same market, they might not have the same exact analysis. It is not wrong. It is forest. It's this thing respect no one, right? It is not. You can never be perfect, even if you're a pro trader. Now look at this. Let me show you something. Look at this move here. This is a perfect one. Look at this. Now look at this. A lot of people will think this as lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. But this is not how it is done, right? I'm going to give us a simple trick to recognizing valid and invalid pullbacks. Now, for a pullback to be at least called a pullback, right? Look at this. It's a downtrend. We're expecting to see red candles more, right? It's a downtrend. We're expecting to see red candles more, right? So we are getting our red candles. It's going down. Once we start seeing rejection and a pullback, market going in the opposite direction, for this thing to be a pullback, we need to see at least 3 to 4 candles in the opposite direction. So the green candle here has to be at least 3 or 4, at least, for it to be a valid pullback. So if it's not 3 or 4, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to see this as one move, lower low. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, lower high, valid. As you can see, it is valid. It is valid. Very valid. Now, this is why the first market is no respecter of anyone. Now look at this. Lower low, lower high. This is actually a lower high, because it has multiple candles in opposite direction. 1, 2, this. It doesn't have to follow each other like this, as long as it is in opposite direction, opposite color, right? So we can call this a lower high, like this. And then I'm not going to call this lower low, lower high, because it didn't really give us. Of course, it has multiple. Again, you don't have to force things, right? I can just, me personally, of course, you can do this like this and do this like this, but then personally, I will not call this. So let's just call that. Let's call it. Again, we cannot call this. Another reason we cannot call that we cannot recognize that is because it actually did not break a structure. That's another thing. It did not break a structure. This is the break of structure here. So this is not a lower low. I almost missed that. Even me. You see, that's why you have to be very careful. All right, so let's see this. Let's continue this. We have what? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. This is not a break. It did not break this structure. So we have what? This one here is our lower low, right? And then we have this lower high. Now, there's something important here. Let's see if that lower high. Let's see this. Look at this. It has to be what? A candle. Guys, look at this. It has to be a candle. What I just explained, this is not a change of character, right? Because some people might be like, okay, but break this one as a change of character. It is not a change of character, because it has to be what? A candle. You have to be able to note all these things. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. It did not close. Remember, I said something about valid and invalid break of structure. It's the same thing as valid and invalid change of character. The same principle, right? So this is our lower high, lower low, lower high. Like this, lower low, lower high. So that is how you draw your path. That is how you draw your path. Then let's continue here. We have what? Our lower low. We have a high like this. We have a low. This one did not give us a change. This one, this guys, this is another thing. This is another thing. Before I talk about this one, let me get this off. Before I talk about this place, let me explain something real quick. Guys, I hope you are understanding this thing. I want an answer. Are we understanding this? Guys, are we understanding what I'm saying? Are we understanding this? Are we getting more clarity? Before I continue, because this one is very important. Are we getting clarity? Are we understanding this? Good. Someone said not really. All right, see, this whole section is being recorded. If you really do not understand, you probably need to just rewatch the video, right? So one thing I need to, I'll just follow through, you're going to understand. So one thing I need to explain real quick, right? This is where so many people also get it wrong, right? Where so many people get it wrong. Guys, this one can be a bit tricky, so listen attentively. It can be a bit tricky, right? It might seem, I'm going to try and explain it better in a very good way. It might be a bit tricky. Just please listen, because if you do not get the concept of market structure, you are going to miss anything else we are doing, right? So let's continue here. So we have lower low here, like this, lower high, lower low, right? This one is called lower low because it broke this structure. If it did not break this structure, we cannot call it lower low. That's one thing you should get. Now we have something like this. We have a high like this. It is not yet lower high, right? We have a high like this, and then we have a lower high. Sorry, it's now a lower high. And then we have this low like this. It did not break structure. It is just called low, right? It is just called low. And then we have this, like this. We have, hold on. Okay. We have this one here. This one's two. This one's two. Right, guys? Now, okay, let me stop here. Now we have this. Now, a lot of people will think, guys, we have this lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, and then we have this. Okay, let me say this one has not happened here yet. We have this, and this one has begun to happen. A lot of people will think, who is drawing this thing? Please, let us take our hands off the screen. I don't want to have to remove anyone. A lot of people will think this market breaking this level here, all right? What confirms a lower high? Please, again, I'm going to talk about that. That's a very brilliant question. Let me just finish this. I'm going to talk about that. So a lot of people will think this market here, this one breaking this is our change of character. Because it's a downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Like this is not a lower low, this is just a low. This is not our change of character. Our change of character will be this. Guys, the market breaking here is our change of character. Again, I like to say, this is what I usually say. Always mark your point of interest. The recent highest point in a downtrend and the recent lowest point. Everything in here is internal structure. Of course, it might be a change. This is just a change, a break of structure of the internal structure. In the internal structure, this is an uptrend. Higher high, higher low, higher high. It's just a break of structure in the internal structure. This is not a change of character of the overall structure. That's one thing you should understand. So this here could be our change of character. It's our change of character. That's one thing I want to pass across, because I just seen something similar happen here right now. And because I want to explain that, I'm going to still answer your question. What validates? Can you help pass a prompt from account? That is going to be a different thing entirely. Just send me a DM on WhatsApp. What confirms a lower high, please? Now, so now look at this. I'm going to answer that question. What confirms a lower high? Now look at this. Lower low, lower high, and then we have this lower low like this, and then we have this lower high, and we have this low here, right? We have this low, we have this high. This is not even a break of structure. We have this high, we have this low, we then have a break of structure here. This break of structure, right? This is not the change of character yet. And then we have this lower high, and then before we now have our change of character. We need to be able to understand this, guys. This was a change of character. This is our change of character. That there is our change of character. Are we going to trade NFP tomorrow? Again, I don't trade currency pair. So that there is our change of character, right? That's our change of character. So let's talk about what validates higher highs and higher lows, right? Now look at this. Let me just quickly answer that question. Now this is a low. This let's assume an uptrend. Let's assume an uptrend, right? Let's assume an uptrend. We have what? Higher high, higher low. Now for this one to be a higher high, guys, this one is not, this move here will only become an higher high, or we can only call it an high. It's just common English if it breaks this structure. If it's, now let me explain this in a much more understandable term. Now higher high means if I do this higher high, because the reason it's called a higher high is because it is higher than this previous highest point. That's why it's called a higher high. If it is not higher than this previous highest point, it cannot be called a higher high, for Christ's sake, because it is not yet higher than this highest point. So we need to see a break of structure here first before we can call this a higher high. Same thing as what? In a downtrend, we have a low, we have a high. For this to be called a lower low, guys, if it stops here, it is not the lower low yet, because for this to be called a lower low, look at the name, lower low. It is called lower low because it is lower than the previous lowest point. This is not going to be called a lower low yet if it's not yet lower than the previous lowest point, right? Until it breaks this structure, until we have a break of structure, we cannot call this a lower low. Until we have a break of structure, we cannot call this a lower low. All right, we cannot call it a lower low until we have a break of structure. So once we have a break of structure, we can then call it a lower low. And that's how this whole thing works. All right, that's how it works. I'm having so many drawings. All right, so that's how the whole thing works. Guys, a lot of people just want me to jump into the whole thing. Guys, we are taking this thing one step at a time. All right, we're taking this thing one step at a time. If anyone asks any question concerning any future topic, I will not be answering, because you need to ask questions based on market structure. Same with uptrend, exactly. Same with uptrend. You need to ask question based on market structure. Based on market structure. All right, so let's continue. So another important thing I need to talk about advanced market structure is, all right, so like I was saying here, again, this is the thing here I was saying. So all these pullbacks are not necessarily valid until this. Right? This is the, so sometimes some people will be like, this market structure is not following market structure because it's just giving us multiple change of character like that, because you do not understand the general overview. That's why you need to be able to do your analysis from the higher time frame to a lower time frame. How to enter a trade, again, we have not gotten there. We'll soon be getting there. So just chill and chill and chill and chill. We're still gonna be doing all this right till we get to entry. All right, right till we get to entry. I cannot just jump into that. All right, how to do top-down analysis from weekly time frame, again, we are not getting into that. Now the only way you are going to be getting how I do all this is when we want to do market analysis. We do market analysis sometimes once or twice or 3 times in a week. So like today we did market analysis on gold, and then we actually took a trade on gold, like you see, and we actually got our take profit on gold. So we took a trade on gold today. So we're going to be doing stuff like that. We're going to be taking trades, doing analysis, taking a pair, and then we're going to do analysis on that pair, and then you can see how I do my entry. I'm going to be considering everything there, even if you do not understand, because that is not our mentorship going on. It's just me doing my analysis and everything. So I'm going to be considering so many things. All right, before I enter the trade. All right, so that's how we are going to be doing it. All right, so that is that on that. So another important thing that we need to talk about, all right, so again, before I continue, let me just quickly talk again about, now just briefly, let's talk about the Deriv platform. I was not able to talk about that. I was not able to talk about that on the TikTok. So let me just talk about that. For those that are just joining us for the first time, this is what we're expecting to learn. Again, we're looking at the touch stroke, no touch strategy, and duration depends. It depends. Sometimes we use, I mostly use the hours long duration and all that. And then for this one too, it is just very easy. Guys, do you know that you can just use one time frame? Now, for this 2 minute strategy, which is something I'm going to be showing those in the VIP group tomorrow. I'm going to be showing you guys the VIP, the 2-minute strategy, right? How does the mentorship goes? Now for the mentorship for the VIP group, again, this one I'm teaching here, right? This one I'm teaching how to understanding the platform, how to trade and everything is totally free. I'm going to be doing that a few times in a week. But then the VIP group, if you want to join the VIP group, it's just $30 to join. Now to join that, what are you going to be expecting to get from that? There, I'm going to be showing you how to apply the knowledge here, how to apply it here. Trust me, there are a lot of things that knowing, see, a lot of traders that are so good with trading this might not be able to trade this, right? There are a lot of things that about here that I still need to teach. Even if you know how to trade, you still need to understand how this platform works and how you can actually make real good money with this. And this is what we're going to be using to do compounding. How we are going to use this is what we're going to be using to flip. Now, this 2-minute strategy itself is what I use to turn $10 into $10,000 in 3 weeks. Again, you don't have to take my word for it. I have a video of that on YouTube. I know there are a lot of unbelievers. I'll be like, how are you able to do that? That's not true and all that. I was able to turn $10, guys. In 3 weeks, $10 will you guide me to profitability? Of course, that's what the VIP group is about. $10 to, what is it called? To $10,000 in 3 weeks. Of course, it's a very risky way to trade. Trust me. I'm not going to say it's just easy peasy and all that. But then I was able to do it. And then even if you are not able to turn $10 to $10,000, imagine being able to turn $10 into 100 or 200 or 500. That's still something, guys. I literally could be broke to flat broke right now, and I would just deposit $50 or $100 and I can make real millions from that. So that's a very real skill. And then I can show you how to do that with this platform. All right, with a very, very, guys, do you know the good thing about this is this trading on this platform is you do not even need so much vast knowledge, just the knowledge of market structure alone. You can trade with this, especially this 2-minute strategy. Let me just show you an example here, right? Here, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to just be on the 1-minute time frame because I'm trading the 2-minute duration. And what I just want to do is I'm going to just mark out my what? Recent highest point. This is my recent highest points right here. And then I'm going to mark out what? My recent, I'm trying to find out my point of interest and my recent lowest points. And then I want to trade in between here. I know this is a downtrend, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. And I think what's going to happen here is what? Lower low. And then I'm going to look for opportunity to what? To enter this trade. It's as simple as that, guys. Very simple. Very, very simple. All right. And then I'm not going to be showing you the secret here because this is the free group. Now I'm going to be showing you guys the secrets and how to enter what I'm looking for before I enter. How I can take my listing and everything and money management and everything in the VIP group. So if you're interested in the VIP group, you send me a DM. So once it's just $30 to join the VIP group actually. So once I have a break of structure here, this becomes my new highest point. And then if I get my break of structure, I'm going to find out my lower low. That's how this whole thing properly just works. All right, because with this strategy you just need the knowledge in market structure. So even if you do not know the rest thing we are going to be teaching, right, the rest in order block, liquidity and everything, if you do not understand the rest that I'm going to be teaching, just understanding this market structure with this 2-minute strategy that I'm going to be teaching those in VIP group tomorrow, you can make crazy money, guys. You can make crazy money. All right, so just go to my YouTube right now. After the section, go and check the videos on my YouTube and check $10, $100. I actually use $100 to $10,000, right? $100 to $10,000. Watch that video. You're going to see how I was able to do it. I think I even have a video where I was trading on the live section here, there. All right, so where we are able to do all these things and then we're able to turn small amount size into crazy amount size, right, by using the compounding interest. I always have this calculator when I want to do that because I love using this, right? So that's what we're going to be doing. That's how we're going to be doing it. So you're interested in learning how to use the knowledge we are going to acquire there to trade here and learn how to flip account, do all that. Again, there's still a proper way to trade this with proper money management. Trust me, there is, which I'm still going to be showing you guys. But then I'm more interested in flipping because it's something very, very crazy, something very crazy that saved me a lot of times, and I'm willing to share with just $30. So if you think it's worth $30, send me a DM on WhatsApp right now and join, because we are going to be going live on Zoom tomorrow. So you do not want to miss that. You do not want to miss that. What calculator is that? It's compound interest calculator. I'm going to be sharing the calculator with those in the VIP group, right? Tomorrow we're going to be using that calculator a lot tomorrow. So that is that on that. So you're interested? Again, I just want 15 people in the group, and I currently have 9 people in the group. So once I get my 15 people, I'm not taking any more people because we are going to be doing the challenge of turning $100 and $50 into. We're going to be turning $50 into $5,000. $5,000. Probably we might not really actually get to this 5,000. To be realistic, right? We might not really get to it. We might have a hand profit of like 3,000 plus or something, $4,000. And we are going to be doing $100 to 11,000. All right, we might not really get to that 11,000, right? And we are doing that with the challenge start tomorrow. No, it's not starting tomorrow. You just really need to understand this whole thing well first. All right. All right, so you need to understand the whole thing properly first before we, get started. All right, so that's how we're going to be doing it. All right, so having said all that, again, I want just 15 people in the group. I have people sending me a DM now. Once I have 15 people, I cannot take anymore because I would not, if I have too much people, we won't be able to do this whole thing properly. All right, so I want just few people that I'm going to be working with on that. Beside that, we're going to be doing our classes here. We're going to be understanding this properly, and then we're going to be doing all that. So tomorrow we are going to be rounding up with advanced market structure, and then we're going to be going into introduction to fair value gap and order block. So guys, for you to get a better understanding of all this, like I said again, I'm going to be doing live trading section where I'm going to be doing analysis together and placing trades. So you need to be joining all those sections too. So you're going to be seeing how I'm doing my analysis, top-down analysis. As I'm teaching you guys, you're going to be understanding how I'm doing all this, how I'm doing my top-down analysis and everything, bringing everything together to become a strategy. All right. So that's one thing you should always do. Again, all this section are being recorded. So even if you miss it, there's a recorded version that is going to be posted on YouTube. If you are watching on YouTube right now, please click the subscribe button and give a thumb up. All right. So that's how we're going to be doing it. Yes, you can pay in error. I have a lot of people sending me a DM right now. I'm going to reply to your messages. You can pay in error, and in error is going to be 48,000 or $30, 48,000. So that's how it's going to go. So we're going to be stopping this section here tonight. We are going to be rounding up market structure tomorrow, and then we are going to be starting introduction to fair value gap and order block. All right. So there's something else I really want to talk about market structure, but then I do not want to jam pack us with so many information at a time. But tomorrow we are going to finish up on market structure, and then we're going to go into order block, which is a very, very important topic. You do not want to miss out on that. So we're going to be getting into introduction of order block and fair value gap, and then after that we're going to then go into liquidity. And then we finish liquidity, we're going to do top-down analysis, and that's just it. You understand all these topics, you are good to go. Right? You're good to go. All right, so that's how we're going to do it. Thank you guys for joining this section tonight. It has been so interesting with you guys. Thank you. We're going to be ending the section now.